What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're on a fantastic day today. And today we have a very exciting trip conclusion video of the Indianapolis, Dayton, and Cincinnati trip from May of 2023 for you all. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. So a really fun trip here over to Cincinnati, Dayton, and Indianapolis. There was so much going on here in this trip, and we really finished strong there over the last 2 weeks. So I really hope all of you enjoyed the content from it. I had an absolute blast putting it all out, and today we're going to summarize it all. But first and foremost, if you haven't watched all these videos yet and you want to, I can't recommend doing so enough, as there's so many spoilers throughout here. And overall, once again, it was a super fun trip. So the link's in the description if you'd like to check it out. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and summarize this absolutely fantastic weekend trip with 16 total videos here. We have a bunch going on, so I'm really excited for this. So we're just going to go ahead and get started, everybody. We'll start right here with our first flights over to Indianapolis on the Southwest 737-800. The same one, however, it was a plane change. We flew from Tulsa to Austin to Indianapolis. Overall, it was a super fun 2 flights. We had a really great report there, so definitely check that one out if you're interested. I know we've done a bunch of Southwest lately, and we have just a little bit more, so bear with me. But nevertheless, you'll see as it's coming up, and we'll have more of an explanation coming up soon for all of you. But that was still a really good one, getting a good look there at the new interior and 2 really good flights with Southwest. So great time. And during that, we also got to go on a little bit of a plane spotting adventure there at the Austin Bertram International Airport. That was a super fun little video to put together with some cool catches like that Canyon Blue Max 8, among others. So definitely check that one out to see all the cool aircraft. The hint is that there was 2 wide bodies on the ground at once for one airline, which is pretty rare at Austin. So that was really cool, and definitely glad to get to share that here for all of you. So that was really awesome right there. Next on the list, we had our first plane spotting session of the trip, and that was at Indianapolis International Airport. We saw a bunch of really cool planes, a handful of FedEx. We saw this MSG Air Cargo 777, among many other mainline planes like Delta 737s, United 737s, American Airbus aircraft, Allegiant Airbuses, plenty of Southwest 737s. So ultimately, that was a super fun one, and really enjoyed the plane spotting there. And it was an absolute blast, to say the least, there from May. I think it was 18th or 19th. I think it was the 19th of 2023. So a really great one. We also had quite a few biz jets as well. So there was so much going on there, and that was a really fun one. So ultimately really enjoyed that, and that was really cool. Now we start to get into some of the most unique parts of the trip, as there's 2 really cool aviation venues in the Dayton, Ohio area, as you can see right here. So first and foremost, we checked out the U.S. Air Force Museum, which is really cool. With all 4 hangars, they have literally every military plane that you could want, including the SR-71, B-52, and hundreds more that would take forever to name. But that video encompasses each and every one of them. So if you are interested in that, definitely check it out, as once again, there was some really cool military aircraft there, and I really enjoyed getting to check it out. So we'll have another one coming up for the Navy, and then I also hope to go see the Coast Guard and I think it's the Marines. I believe I still have 2 that I have not seen yet. So now that I'm halfway there, definitely gonna have to see all of them, and I hope to bring that to all of you. So our 4th Aviation Museum was definitely a success here on the channel. So overall, really enjoyed that, and what a unique museum it is. It's really worth a watch if you get a chance. There's so much going on in there, and ultimately it was a bunch of fun. So that was a super fun video put together, and safe to say that there is plenty of military action in that hangar. Our next journey includes down the street from where that museum is. We went to MTS Aviation Models, which is one of the coolest model aircraft stores in the United States, but definitely for any 1-200 lovers. The amount of 1-200s that are in that store are absolutely crazy. So there's so many in-flights, Gemini 200s, so many brands, so much to choose from. So, and they continue to grow that store, so I definitely hope to go back in the future. But that was a really, really awesome venue there, or yeah, a great venue, and overall really good adventure to MTS Aviation Models. Had a great time seeing all the various aircraft. They even had a good selection of 1-400 aircraft, so that was certainly nice. So can't say that I was disappointed by any means. It was a really, really fun excursion. Overall, I really enjoyed it, and it was so much fun to document. So I hope all of you enjoyed the coverage on that, and I had a really great time, to say the least, right there. So that was awesome, and looking forward to more of that in the near future. Let's take a look at our next video, as after those 2 visits, we ended up driving down to Cincinnati to go plane spotting, and we saw plenty of epic wide bodies at Cincinnati International Airport. This was a super fun video to put together with many different pieces, including the Delta 767-400 there on the thumbnail, but we also had a variety of cargo aircraft as well, so that made it really cool. We had some 767-200s, 767-300s, among other aircraft. We also got to see a 727 from afar, which was really cool. I think that was the last time I saw the Colettas, so a little sad, but at least super glad to capture it there. DHL 777, a bunch of primary 767s, and even some cool passenger operations like all the Allegiant flights that were there, a handful of Frontiers as well, along with all the legacy carriers. So Cincinnati certainly has some really cool plane spotting locations, and in this video I was super glad to get to explore all those, along with catching some very cool aircraft in the process. So that was a really fun plane spotting session, and I definitely hope to go back to Cincinnati again in the future to get an even better shot at it with the new camera, and hopefully on a weekday for more cargo traffic. But that was still a really awesome first Saturday. I really enjoyed it, plus the great weather as well. So all that added up, and certainly it was a super fun opportunity there. So I really enjoyed that, and that was a great time right there, to say the least. Then we went plane spotting back at Indianapolis again there from May 21st, 2023. We had some really cool aircraft once again, mainly mainline aircraft in this video, but there were a couple of Legions, a couple of FedExes. There was a really unique engine start from FedEx 752, so that was cool, among others. So overall, really enjoyed it. The unique part about this spotting video is this is actually on their crosswind runway, which is very rare for them to use that. So it ended up working out that I could find a good plane spotting location, and we ended up going to town on it. So that was super fun. Again, Indianapolis has a bunch of really cool aircraft, and can't believe that I got to see it all there in one visit, but it was really cool to get the various views and overall get to check it out. And we even got to check out the airport, which we'll see here momentarily. So that was really great, and overall had a great time on that. Speaking of the airport, there is the tour video right there, which was a bunch of fun to make. Indianapolis is definitely one of the nicest airports in the United States, and that video really goes into a variety of detail exhibiting why that is the case. So I really hope all of you get a chance to check that out if you're interested. It's a really awesome airport. So much going on there, and ultimately it was a bunch of fun. So really glad to see that, and that was absolutely fantastic right there, to say the least. So really fun airport tour videos. I can't recommend checking it out enough if you're interested. Then we get into the amazing trip home, and I can't recommend watching these all enough if you haven't already. I'll go kind of in sequence here so you know what to expect, but man, it was so much fun. So we started out, I can't believe that all this ended up being cheaper than just 2 flights back, but nevertheless, we had a Spirit Airbus A319 in the big front seat, which is their version of first class, from Indianapolis to Orlando. Is a really great flight. I really hope all of you enjoyed it. Really neat seats, and super glad to get to check them out and what they're all about here on this particular day. So that was certainly a bunch of fun and a really relaxing flight, the most relaxing of the day by far. So probably the best product as well. So overall, really enjoyed that, and really great to see what Spirit was about for the first time, and more economy trip ports to balance it out here coming in the future. But Spirit does offer that big front seat, and it is really cool. So definitely recommend checking that out if you haven't already. And then we had our ground stop plane spotting session at Orlando International Airport, where we saw plenty of low-cost carriers, a nice variety of heavies, including that Azula A330-900 Neo in the pink livery, among so many others. There were 747s, 75s, 76s, A330s. So really great variety of plane spotting. We saw every Frontier telling the book, so it was really fun. But then the ground stop happened, and then that really takes us into our next video, where I covered Will I Make My Connecting Flight, 4-hour delay at Orlando International Airport. Of course, this started the Will I Make My Connection series. This was part 1 of 3, and overall had a really great time making this video. It was really fun to get to hang out at Orlando despite these circumstances, and still obviously get a backup plan put together and figure it all out as it was happening in the moment. So obviously put quite a layover time on both sides of it, and then the proving powerful. So super glad to see that, and ultimately what a trip port that was, or sorry, what a Will I Make My Connection video that was, and then that takes us into trip port. But yeah, certainly really good storytelling there, and really leading up to the next 2 videos of that mini series inside of this trip. Then we go over Frontier in this trip port after the 3-hour thunderstorm delay from Orlando to New Orleans. Overall, this was really good, and this was made before Frontier made some massive changes. So I'm really eager to fly Frontier again to see how these new changes play. But overall, I thought this video turned out really well. We tried their normal economy product, and it was, you know, good for the circumstances. Obviously the delay was not great, plus the rude gate agent, but the actual flight was pretty good, and definitely not too many complaints. They got me from point A to point 3, just a few hours late, but excuse me, I'm so sorry. Anyway, it was certainly quite the circumstance right there, to say the least, and definitely plenty going on right there in general. So definitely super glad to get the cover Frontier in their full connotation and what that was all about. So definitely plenty going on, and I'd recommend checking that one out if you haven't. And then we had 5 minutes off of that flight to make our next flight. I can't recommend watching that one enough. It was really fun to put that together. Man, sprinting through New Orleans, didn't even get a formal look at it, just had to immediately sprint over to the southwest gates. It was about 1,100 feet or so. It was certainly crazy, but definitely glad to get it done in the moment right there, because as you can see, we did make that connection onto the Southwest 737 MAX 8 from New Orleans to St. Louis. What a fun flight that was. Really enjoyed that one. Obviously, it was a little bit more relaxed, especially under the Southwest connection now. But again, really recommend watching these videos in sequence so that you can get the full understanding of what's happened here. But ended up being a really great flight, and Southwest did once again a really good job despite their delay, but it ended up saving me in the moment. So really lucked out on that. But nevertheless, what a sequence right there. That was certainly crazy to say the least. That then took us on to our 5-minute connection we had at St. Louis, which was just crazy. I thought that, honestly, I really thought they were going to hold it plenty of time, and obviously being in the back, I kind of forgot to incorporate time for that. But of course, that did take us to the final video, as we did make the last flight of the day from St. Louis to Tulsa. It was just crazy there with the PA announcement. Obviously, this video goes into the full details, and we really reflect on it with this latest video. So yeah, it was safe to say that it was an absolute wallop, but man, it was so fun to put this all together. This was a really fun, what was this? Yeah, pretty much 10 videos worth. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos, but obviously plenty up here in the front. But then this whole back half really just made it so exciting. I initially didn't know how I wanted to do this last part here with these Southwest flights. I thought about combining them, but I was like, what's the fun in that when you can have these 2 5-minute connection videos in between all this? So that's why I decided to space it out here, and I thought it turned out really well. So I really enjoyed putting this all together, and I really hope each and every one of you enjoyed watching it all. Luckily, there's not going to be as many tight connections coming up in the future. So yeah, it was a really fun trip. Some of these were some of my best videos ever. I thought I really enjoyed putting these all together. They were really great. Some great flights throughout. Obviously, the museum, the model store, the spotting Indianapolis and Cincinnati, and then obviously the Indianapolis tour video before we went into all the detail here about all this. So certainly plenty going on here, and overall I really enjoyed this, and I really hope each and every one of you enjoyed watching all. So definitely check out my channel update if you didn't get to check that out from last week, or rather earlier this week. If you're watching this sometime in the May 27th week, happy Memorial Day, by the way, everybody. Really great holiday to celebrate with for various reasons, but we'll talk about that more in an upcoming video. As for if you didn't check out my channel update, I would definitely recommend doing so, as I go into all the detail you need to know about what to expect here on my channel this summer. But obviously, as this is the conclusion of this trip, some of you may be wondering, if you're watching this video, what we're going to be going into next for the real life sector. So we do have a Denver day trip for the Southwest Companion Pass, so there'll be one full video covering 2 flights for that, and we'll cover the Southwest Companion Pass in conjunction with a Denver day trip. So stay on the lookout for that video, and we'll also have one plane spotting video at Denver. So looking forward to both those videos. There'll be no conclusion for that, since it's obviously real simple. There's just going to be 2 videos for that this upcoming week. And then as we go right into June, we're going to be going straight ahead with the beginning of the Pacific Northwest trip. So I'm super excited for that. My goal is to hopefully get this all done within 2 months. Now, there's going to be probably 30 videos or so, possibly 40. So there's going to be a bunch of content coming for it. So with that being said, it may take 2 to 3 months to complete. I'm hoping by the end of July to keep kind of a nice balance, because I have so much coming up that I would love to share, but I don't want to rush it either. I want to make it enjoyable for all of you. I really enjoyed the pace of the videos here for the Indianapolis Cincinnati Dayton trip, and I really hope to keep that pace going forward, because it appeared that we were anywhere between 24 hours and 3 days, which I think gives everybody enough time to not get too eager for the next video, but also have time to watch it. And also, most of these videos are not, obviously I do have some longer videos on my channel. Most of these end up being, excluding the Orlando plane spotting video, most of these being were a pretty reasonable amount of times. These 2 exhibits, obviously, they're not very sensitive time pressure wise, so these can be watched back later, and there's just so much going on here, so I decided to spend a little bit more time on those. But as of for these sequential videos that are in order, I thought that they turned out really well for the length of the videos, and also giving you a good variety here. In the plane spotting, there was a bunch of planes in that was like 5 hours worth of spotting, so that was understandable why that was so long. With this, I was extremely happy with the durations here. Frontier deserved 17 minutes to explain all of what's going on there. That Spirit video was 15, I believe. That really was just the right amount of time to explain that, so that was great. Obviously, I need to explain what was going on with the flights this day, so that's why this video was 13 minutes, so that was just the right amount of time. And then these 2 5-minute connections, 9 each. That's exactly what I would have wanted. This Southwest flight was 16:45. I believe I talked about the St. Louis operation in there too, so that really made that justified for that length of time. and then 11 minutes here at the end to really reflect on all this. So I thought it turned out really well, and I really hope all of you enjoyed it. So yeah, as we go into the future, what I was talking about there with the Pacific Northwest trip is I'm going to do my best to balance that all out. Some of the videos are going to be longer than others. Seattle plane spotting, there was a bunch of planes, so that's probably going to be 45 minutes or so. But you know, you can kind of dive into the Pacific Northwest trip. I'll go ahead and say that if you made it to this point, you deserve to know that it's going to be balanced. There's not going to be any rushes. I recommend watching it in order, but you can kind of bounce around a little bit as the videos come out over the summer. So, you know, I'm just trying to upload by the vibe, you know, and just keep it all chronological and, you know, get the spacing out so that all of you have enough time to watch these videos. And I know that I've been uploading more than what I have previously as of late. So I'm going to try to balance it all out to give all of you enough time to watch these videos. So that's currently my goal, but it's going to be great. And I really hope all of you are excited for it. So yeah, really excited for the Pacific Northwest. And then following that down the road later, late in the summer, we'll be diving into some Oshkosh videos from 2023. So I really hope all of you are excited for that. It's going to be a really fun sequence of videos, but we'll go ahead next week and knock out those videos real quick. And then as of for kind of this format, you know, evaluating the trips and whatnot, I'll see all of you in the Pacific Northwest trip will be really where we go, but definitely check out the Southwest videos in Denver spotting. It was still really nice there. So I'd recommend checking those out when they do come out, and then we'll be on to the Pacific Northwest for a while. So really hope all of you are excited for this. It's going to be really great. Super excited for what's coming. I hope each and every one of you are as well. So with all that being said, everybody, that'll do it for the Indianapolis, Cincinnati dating trip. It was a really fun one. Can't believe that 4 days ended up getting this quality content, but it did, and that's what we love to see. So with all that being said, everybody, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Red River Aviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name is Red River Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Red River Aviation is signing off.